Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead. I'm Niko and I'll be your host as I try to tell you the tale of a young man named Heero. I have to start this intro off by apologizing. I had some kind of an issue with Power Director and it, it corrupted episode 24. So if you're wondering why there's a gap in episodes, it's in memory of all the hard work that I did that you'll never get to see. I'm really sorry about that. I'm looking into this to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So before I tell you on what you missed, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you who are still watching the series. I really appreciate it. As an aspiring YouTuber, there are days where you just want to throw in the towel and just walk away. But seeing the likes, the comments, feedback that I've gotten from friends, family, and of course you, the viewers, it makes it worth it. So I'd like to take this opportunity to not only thank you for your continued support, but I'd also ask if you could consider leaving likes or comments on my videos, letting me know what you like, what you don't like, so I can improve. If you've noticed from some of these videos, I try really radically different things. I'm trying to see what works, what you guys enjoy, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Dear Diary. Well, I've been kind of putting off writing in here because I wasn't sure what to say. Here goes. We cut through Hamilton and made it to the FEMA camp. Everyone there is dead. I mean everyone. We saw ditches with thousands. And I mean thousands of corpses. Just there, rotting. Both of the camps. There were lots of soldiers there, so maybe there's some loot. Maybe a map to a place where other people went. And as we got there, we saw a guy on the field of our farm. I could see a guy moving around, and he didn't look like a feral. We drove through and got to him, but he wasn't happy to see us. Made me drop my weapon, and he told me to go away. I was scared. I was angry. I don't know what I was thinking, but I ran that asshole over. And it wasn't like for revenge, though. It just seemed like the right thing to do. I would have never thought of killing someone before the Cataclysm, and now that just seemed to be the right thing to do. Lashin agreed with me. We seemed to be getting along all right. I told him about the cabin with the two other people. He agreed that we couldn't let aggressive strangers live so close to us. We went over and tried to talk. They tried to kill us. Lashin killed the first one, and I got the second. I didn't feel bad that time. And then we drove to the other side of Hamilton. Hill, I think it's called? The map I found said there was a dojo over there, and if we were going to make it, I have to learn to fight better. I got tons of loot, some better armor and stuff. We stayed there for the night and got to the dojo. Found some martial art books, but more importantly, I found a book teaching me how to make a katana. Sugai! Lashin's rifle broke, and I figured to make him a spear since he likes stabbing things so much. I think maybe from the farm he would use a pitchfork? I finished making the spear shaft. After I'm done making his spear, I'll start on my katana. Wait. Oh no. Buzzing again. As you can see, we're hearing the buzzing in our head. We, health-wise, we're completely fine. We are basically naked, though. And Lashin is fully healed, too. The thing, though, is I was actually noticing this. Let's check out Lashin's armor. I was pretty sure I gave him more than the Kevlar vest. But maybe it broke during the fight, or maybe I didn't. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you. He has a pair of boots in his hoodie. He's really encumbered in his hands. Combat boots are almost kaput, too. We don't really have much time since the buzzing happened. That is a bit of a warning, at least. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get our armor on right away. Oh no, reality's already breaking. Okay, we're still good. We're still good. Because we're trying to wash Lashin's armor. An involuntary traveler says, "What's happening?" No, we're not going to stop. We hear the high-pitched squeal. We hear it, but we're going to keep going. Giant appendage. No. So, you know, the curiosity got us. We step up and there's a giant appendage. What is that? You know, that's somebody's waifu. Giant probing appendage blindly feeling the area around it. It was like thing. All of your senses scream at you that it's the size of a truck, and yet it only takes up as much space in the world as you do. That kind of stuff just messes with my head. It seems to be jutting through a portal, suggesting it's merely a smaller extension of something much larger. Holy crap. So there's like some giant from some different universe. All right, so we are just gonna run and close the door. Okay, so let's take a look at Lasha now. I mean, this hoodie really isn't doing anything. Can we tell you to take this off? Is that encumbering? Okay, Lashin, take that off. Goodness. I think the headgear is fine, so looks like we're doing okay for armor. Now, that unwilling traveler, whatever it said, I don't know if they're still out there. Let's flash our flashlight. Memories. We're surrounded by these memories. Most of them are probably bad memories. We're going to go inside and close the door. That's interesting. As soon as we went inside and closed the door, it just disappeared. You're screaming. Ah! No, get back! What's here? Yeah, no, we got to talk to you. Okay, so we changed some rules. I'm hoping that'll help Lashin come back. Help! We killed the last one. I don't know what Lashin is doing out here. Okay, good. Back inside the hut. So Heero kind of takes Lashin and he's kind of turns and looks at him and says, like, in the house, let's go. So he follows him in, and as they're getting to the door, he hears a voice. Please help me. Please help me. All different types of voices from outside. Close the door. Lashin's not going to be investigating anything. Let's go check on our pups. Good. All four are alive. All right, Lashin. We leave Lashin inside to guard the pups. We didn't tell Lashin we were going outside. So right now he's like, what's that noise? Something about that traveler. I just have this urge. The person to the south. Something broke in our windows that last time. Ow! We never figured out what it was. The alien grass was serrated. We're not going to walk in on that. Possible shape. Where's the person? Oh, okay. Well, it went away. This grass just keeps appearing out of nowhere. Hopefully our car is safe. We keep hearing noises. This grass just keeps reappearing, disappearing. There's the person. Well, we're not the same person that we were before. Hey, looking for me? Smile thing. You're ours now. Eeh. There's just madness everywhere. As we're moving south, something is just throwing us back. And we're feeling a sense of deja vu. If we've already walked here before. Heero does his best to ignore all the voices, all the words. Won't be scared this time. Investigate strange location. It's successfully completed. Okay, so I guess just coming here. Solve some kind of a mission. Ow! Yeah, we're gonna go back in the house. Heero felt this urge to just step out to this weird location that was obviously wasn't on his map, but he could see something like maybe there was light, purple light off in the distance. I mean, I think this is our blood. Aside from that, everything seems to be okay. We're gonna need something. I'll take a codeine. Giant appendages outside of our house. If we can get that severe pain to go away, we'll go outside again. So this is not Hero's first one. This is what, our fourth or fifth? Lashin seems to kind of be freaking out here, looking around like in his new armor, like what's going on? Oh God, what's that? Something's happening. The dogs, they're whimpering. Not loud, not crying, just a little whimpering. They're clearly uncomfortable. Still in severe pain. Yeah, I don't want to take another painkiller. I'm not trying to get high. Just trying to lower that pain. Goodness, that was a lot of pain. I have to say, it was kind of like undeserved. We're just like walking and all of a sudden we explode. I guess the whole idea is that you're supposed to have shelter, right? I don't know about you, but intense sounds worse than severe. And unmanageable pain sounds worse than severe pain. But it's better. Like, unmanageable by itself sounds like you can't manage it. It's that bad. Whatever. I guess these are the memories outside when there's so many of them. Oh, and it's over. Let's go check on the dogs. It is 4 in the morning, but I don't think we're going to sleep anytime soon. You try to get comfortable. You hear a loud skittering sound, but see nothing. The sound grows louder, and yet you see nothing. Desperate, you search for the source of the sound. You find nothing except an itch in your ear. You reach to scratch it, causing hundreds of tiny spiders to burst out, and you find the source of the sound. Oof. Yeah, well, that was a fun nightmare. So this actually happened a couple days ago. We feel good now. That was pretty good. We went from that terrible health to finally feeling good. I was about to say there should be a debuff for having nightmares, and I'm not glad that there is, but you know, it makes sense. You still asleep? No, you're awake. All right, we have a stereo now too. Well, we'll see how that does on our battery. So far, we haven't gotten it that far down, so I think we're going to be okay. We're going to tell Lashin to go back to that reading. There we go. Proficient in bladesmithing. There we go. And we got the steel spear. Lashin sitting on the ground with the fabrication book out. Not even paying attention to what Heero's doing. He walks over and taps his shoulder. Yeah, I'm reading. No, it's not that. It's... Look, sorry about your gun. I thought you could use this. Lashin looks over and sees this spear. The steel spear that Heero's been working on. And grabs it, and the heft is pretty good. It feels pretty good in his hands. So he looks back at him and just gives a nod and... Just wait. Check the inscription. And he looks down on the handle and it says, Simonov spear. You know what, Sheh? You alright. Thank you. As he goes back to his reading. Alright, now the katana. Ideally, we'd want to make the hardened one, but we don't know how to do the carbon and the mild steel and all that stuff. Yeah, we don't know how to do any of that stuff. But we can make the base one. Now, you need 9 fabrication. We have 10 in theory, but we only have 7 practically. Well, there is a minor failure chance of 50%, but you know what? On-the-job training. Fortunately, we do have bladesmithing, so that should make it a little faster. But as we go up in skill, it'll work. I have a good feeling about this. Are you going to use a lump of steel nearby? With the fur patch. Oh, we already got it to 8, so I guess there was some skill rust there. So as the day turns into night, fabrication just comes to Heero. It goes from 8 to 9 to 10. Lashin finishes his book and is just watching Heero, mesmerized, focused on this task at hand, unnecessarily folding the steel of the katana. And on the 16th day of summer, the first summer of the Cataclysm, Heero looks at his katana that he's made with his own hands. So first things first. So there's a huge difference in weight and in length. But if you compare the damage, I mean, the katana doesn't actually do that much less. I mean, yeah, it's got a lot less bash. But look at the base moves per attack. That's awesome. That is substantially awesome. So per stamina, we get more bang for our buck. And we can butcher with it. Not like that's a selling point. But yeah, no, +2 to hit is really good. Now, the only thing is that we don't have a martial art that works with katana. So we'd be using brawling. But I feel like from a storytelling standpoint, we are going to be using the katana. We will keep the great sword in the car, but we're going to be using the katana from now on. So as much as we're going to miss Barbara Montante. So taking a look at our own equipment, I mean, we still have that same problem with that tactical vest that we had on. I don't know if we can fit a gun in this. Well, looks like we fit the Makarov in it. Okay, well, I guess we'll just use this for now. Okay, so the Beretta is just too big to fit in there. So I guess the Makarov, I mean, ballistically speaking, they're both, I mean, look at the little numbers. They're pretty similar. I don't think in terms of damage there'll be much of a difference. It's a smaller magazine. So not the end of the world. Of course, we only have 16 bullets for this, but this is more like a emergency kind of a gun, so I think we'll be okay. For now, in any case. So we used half our battery, but we'll see how it is by the morning. Either way, it's midnight. We're going to bed. Well, that was a sleepless night. It takes us more time to make the scabbard than it did to make the katana. So we're missing garment closures and skilled leatherworking. Maybe we can work on that. Well, we finished making the scabbard. I decided to make a training dummy. I keep saying we got to get stronger, and that's what we need to do. We decided to work on some spear stuff. We had a few books and that kind of thing. That was pretty quick, though. We topped up Lashin, and then we decided to switch to some unarmed combat. It's unlikely, but we could find ourselves disarmed. Lashin's a pretty tough dude. I didn't think he'd pick it up so well. I mean, I obviously had the advantage watching Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho and all the classics. He keeps saying he grew up on a farm, but doesn't really talk much about what he did there. I wanted to stop because it started to rain, but it was actually Lashin who decided we had to keep going. I told you I'm fine. Little rain, no bother no one. I'll be honest, I don't really understand half the things he says. When it got dark, he said to me, "Fade dodo?" I don't know what that means. Anyway, I was getting pretty tired, so decided to have a snack and then figured it was time to hit the hay. Good night, pups. Good night, Lashin. Good night, waifu pillows. Sleep came pretty easy that night. But I had this terrible dream that I was online with talking to my friends, and they were talking about riots and stuff like that were happening. We made this plan to go to this cabin. Then I realized that I was seeing it all happen again, all over. I don't think I made it to the cabin that time, though. At least I woke up and it was over. Well, it was time to get going. I noticed that we had some damage to the car. I've been driving kind of crazy. I didn't really drive before all this happened. I think I'm getting better, but anyway, we were going to head off. So tired of leaving that bag everywhere we go. Hopefully it's there waiting for us. Hey, Lashin? Yeah, what did it? Wondering, how come you never try to drive? You don't want to see me drive. The reason I walk everywhere. That was about the extent of our conversation we'd have. I put on the music to fill the awkward silence. I tried not to think too much about the time before the Cataclysm, but it was moments like this that made me miss it. Though, even with this awkward silence, it was nice to have somebody sitting with us. I asked him what kind of music he liked. He finally replied, swamp music. What the heck's a swamp music? I already knew he's not into anime. I thought maybe he'd be interested in some of the more classical stuff like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. He just looked at me blankly and, well, I shut up after that. Thank God we finally arrived. I was running out of things to talk about. What kind of funny thing happened? We came across one of those pink fat things, and I told Lashin to get it because, you know, he's got a ranged weapon. And it started to spit at him, and, well, he threw his spear at it. And it just kind of hit the ground in front of him. I guess he was embarrassed because he just ran up and punched it. I looked at him, but he just avoided eye contact with me. After that, we entered the hardware store. We found a book. That was handy. But I was hoping for some heavy machinery. We're kind of lacking some stuff. Like, I could really use an acetylene torch. Or an arc welder. Whatever those things are. Found a jackhammer. And a concrete mixer. Not sure when I'll use either of them, but, you know, maybe we'll build a patio or something. At the back of the store, we found a bunch of gardening supplies, fertilizers, and all these little tools. They had a bunch of vegetables and fruits on display, so we picked them all. I guess the seeds will come in handy. We should probably do something about all that stuff we have back at the house. I'm trying not to think about how hard winter is going to be. The other day, Lashin reminded me that we don't have grocery stores to go to, and I thought, oh no. I haven't really put anything aside for that. Well, we made it back to that store, that military supply thing. Got in the back. I was hoping that there weren't any still inside, but there was a few, and they were still making lots of noise, so we figured best to deal with them now than later. Well, this was going to be it. I finally got to try out my katana, and holy jeez, these things went down so fast. It was like cutting like butter with a hot katana. Either way, we decided to hold them there. Lashin was enjoying his spear too. We made some quick work of these guys. A Super Saiyan showed up, and then I thought, uh-oh, this is going to mess me up. There's also one of those smoker zombies. I hate those things. And as if I'm in some badly written manga, one of those fat green ones showed up. As it exploded, all I could hear was, "Fils de pute!" Yeah, we were coughing pretty hard there. I can still taste that poison when I think about it. Well, the smoke started to clear. We decided to go in. I could see my bag. It looked like everything was still there. It was at that moment where I really realized how I had everything I needed in there. I had a bunch of tools and stuff. You know, I had my medicines. I had my candy, my gum. Probably wasn't going to be the last time this was going to happen, though. And so we decided to go across the street. There was that bookstore that I had been eyeing for quite a while. Oh, I was so excited to get in there. Fortunately, there was glass windows and glass doors everywhere. Lashin was looking around nervously. I think he was tired of getting poisoned. Books were everywhere, but we had no idea how many of them would actually be useful. Well, with all those books that we got from the military store and this, we had some interesting stuff. A lot of it was just recipes. But you know, I'm always saying that no knowledge is wasted. Well, after we came across more of those Pokemon things, they're really strange. They fly around, they're swooping at me. If I connect, they go down pretty quick, but it's hard to hit those things. Really need more ammo. I thought everything was fine, but then we saw that weird Kajigger with all the heads and arms and stuff. That thing gives me the heebie-jeebies. We thought, you know what? We got this. We got these new weapons. It didn't seem to take much to take it down when I had a gun, but I had to hit it a lot of times before it died. With all the arms, it was really easy to grab onto me. I figured, okay, no, I need some backup. I guess Lashin took it serious when I told him to stand his ground. He didn't look scared at all, though. He just kind of grit his teeth and was cursing under his breath. We hit this thing so many times. It was good practice, though. I felt like every time I did a slash, as I was pulling back, Lashin would just stab into him. We really didn't practice or rehearse it, but the timing got pretty good. I knew as soon as I hit, move out of the way so he can stab. And we had a pretty good rhythm going on. It just felt like this thing was never going to die. But after what felt like an eternity, pretty sure that it was me, but we finally killed this stupid thing. Told you, shit, I'm fine. Lashin insisted he was okay, but we definitely got the attention of some zombies in the area. Hey, wake up! Lashin screamed as he killed the kid that was coming towards us. These peasant zombies, the guys that don't have armor or anything crazy about them, they go down really quick. We were just cutting through them like we had a +6 sword. Oh, that was an easy dozen that we killed there. After that, I thought, you know what? We do got that map. Let's take another look. As we were looking there, something kind of caught my eye. There was an antique store. It seems like antique weapons do pretty good in this Cataclysm, so we thought we'd check it out. It was pretty close. We walked in and you could smell the musty smell of an area that hadn't been looked at in a while. There really wasn't much to see. It was actually kind of disappointing. There was a lamp that caught my eye, and as I was trying to move it, I saw a sword cane underneath. Oh, this would have been so handy if we found it earlier. There's no way I was giving up my katana for that. I looked at Lash and just kind of shrugged his shoulders. I think he was liking that spear that we got him. Well, we had checked everything out, and I could hear some noise coming from outside. I thought, you know what, there's one door. Let's see what we can find here. Of course, the fat zombie came at us, and he went down pretty quick. But he had another friend. He also went down pretty quick, too. I thought, you know what, if more of them are going to come out, this is a good place to hold them, right? And that's when I saw it. Across the street, they had broken down the wall. Oh, I don't know what did. They didn't look that scary, those guys, but something that just clobbered it through. I guess they're hitting it all day and they never get tired. We were smashing the bodies, but they all started to come towards us. We closed the door and they were trying to bash their way in. It was getting really loud and I got scared. I mean, they broke down the wall. Maybe they could break down this wall. We decided to exit the store and see if we could maybe get a few of them to come at us at a time. And then something really weird happened. Those brainless zombies that normally don't see or smell or anything, it just started going towards the store and smashing the windows and going in. So I guess it was attracted to all the noise that they were making. Even though they have no brain, they can still hear all right, I guess. Ikaze? Imasen! Will you cut that out? Lashin didn't really take kind to me, you know, doing my thing. That weird pupating zombie came at us, the one that looks like a snail. After we killed it, it stunk in the area, that sludge. Ugh. You'd think I'd be used to these weird smells and sounds by now. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. Well, the building up ahead looked kind of familiar. I checked the map and it's a strip mall, actually. I thought maybe, you know, I always see those infomercials about these dojos in the strip malls. I was looking for an entrance, but I thought, you know, if I go that way, all those guys at the back of the antique store are going to see me. I looked at Lashin. I didn't need to say much. He just gave me a nod. And we decided that we were going to hold them there, hopefully where their numbers mean nothing. The sounds of them got louder as we came in. That brainless zombie was there, but he was no match for us. I could just hear them outside, and I really got scared. I thought, they're not going to break down the wall, and that's a metal door. Here we go. We were not expecting that. That screaming zombie let out a shrill. It was so loud. I could barely stand up. Honestly, I didn't even look at Lashin to see how he was. I just started swinging, and luckily I killed it. But blessed Amaterasu, there were so many of them, at least 24. I looked to Lashin this time, and his ears were bleeding. I wanted to run away, but they grabbed onto me. No! Kona hazu wa. I had never wanted to run away so badly in my life, but I couldn't. They were holding on to me. I kept swinging. Every time I'd swing at the guy who was holding on to me, his friend would step into place. Lashin tripped over and fell over the counter. I did manage to get back, but I couldn't close the door. There were too many of them there. Hey, buddy? Lashin's still wandering around. He fell on the counter. I can't do this alone. I need you. I kept cutting at them as they were coming in, but I was hurting all over. Ah, my head. What? Sha! I'm with you, Sha. Laissez les bons temps rouler. I wish he spoke in English more often. Anyways, with Lashin helping me out, we were still pretty dazed, but it was a lot easier. They were coming in one at a time, and we were in a good spot. Till that thing blew up. Hate those things. Left slash stab. Right slash stab. Left slash stab. One of them did manage to get in, and he was one of those tougher looking ones. But at this point, it's not like they could really do much to us. We had managed to hold them back, that entire horde by ourselves. There was just a handful of them left. We were feeling pretty good. There's not much joy in the Cataclysm, but when it happens, you gotta take it. Well, after taking whatever we could from the bodies, which really wasn't much, we decided to push on forward to the strip mall. It was so close, we could feel it. And we could hear it. There was something inside. Thought about how my leg hurt, but we couldn't turn back, not at this point. And after we finally got inside, it seemed quiet at first, and there they were. Fortunately, this time it wasn't a whole horde. After what we just fought, we really weren't worried about these handful of guys. It looked like we were in some kind of a camping supply store. It really wasn't much. Just you know, some stuff lying around, some lawn chairs. We saw a tent, but you know, it was what was inside that kind of depressed me. It was clear that somebody had been stacking supplies here. I don't think that the store had it like this. But what happened to the occupant? Did we just kill them? Like maybe they got bit and then they went inside and died? Or did they go on some scavenging run and not come back? I didn't want to say anything to Lashin, but what if that person was alive and was still out? And they're going to come back and everything's gone. It didn't stop me from taking the stuff though. We got to think about us. So after taking whatever we could, we decided to push on to the next door. Crossing our fingers, hoping it's a dojo. I managed to get the door open, and it was very purple inside. Looked like we were in some kind of a janitor room. I guess it makes sense that it would have an outside door for the garbage bins. Then there was some kind of a break room, I guess. Looked pretty empty. There was some food in the fridge, but just that emptiness, the eeriness. Still not quite used to that. Well, we opened up the door, and inside, it looked like some kind of a beauty salon. All this nail products and shampoos and stuff like that. I looked over at Lashin, and he just rolled his eyes. Guess there wasn't anything here that we could use. Well, we had gotten all we could from there, which was even less than the last place. There was lots of graffiti on the wall. I guess people had been in this area. And we were in. I should have been able to tell from the smell, to be honest. You know how those places are, like the change rooms and stuff. There's always a smell. So as we walked in and I saw familiar uniforms, well, familiar from my anime, I had the feeling we were in the right place. We had checked both the training rooms and it didn't look like there was anything. No equipment, nor any books. I was a little worried because I thought maybe if we stepped a little further in, then the guys in the street would be able to see us. There was just basically one area left to check. And I found some books. A lot of books. Most of them just looked like fiction stuff. We already had that one on Tau, so that wasn't going to help us. And the Pancratian. It's like these guys had the same book. The same suppliers. Like, what are the odds of that? We did find one on, I think it's called Silat. It's the stuff that they do in Indonesia. I mean, it's not as cool as Samurai or Ninja, but, you know, it's still pretty cool. And after zombies started to come in, we thought, okay, it's time to go. I wanted to see what was around the corner, and, well, there was a gas station with gasoline zombies. I've never seen anything like that. I guess they tried to drink the gasoline, and it had some kind of a weird effect on them. I try not to think too much about these different zombies and their types. Sometimes they make sense, and sometimes it's just like something out of a nightmare. I was curious, though. If we shot these things, I mean, they look like they were just ready to burst. So I pulled up my MacLeod, that little Russian gun that we had, and I steadied my aim. It felt a little weird in my hand. I wasn't quite used to its feel. Not that I'm a gun expert or anything. And so I shot it. I was expecting the thing to explode, but it really didn't seem to take much damage. I guess it doesn't pack as much punch as my Beretta. Well, it was getting closer. It's now or never. Come on. Come on. And yeah, like I figured, it exploded. Thank God I didn't hit that with my sword. The noise seemed to attract other zombies. Which, you know what? Actually, I don't mind if they come. I figured that they must be pretty flammable. I mean, you know, they're dead, right? We normally burn corpses. Yeah, they were all coming towards us. They had all heard the explosion. Probably could smell the charred remains of that zombie. I wonder if that smelled good to them. And like we figured, they just died. Pretty quick. I'll admit I was pretty excited. I said out loud to Lashin, I mean, we could just do this every time like they did in The Last Samurai. And Braveheart, I suppose. He just kind of shrugged his shoulders at me and said, yeah, you be doing that, then we don't be getting the loot after. That's a really good point. All their stuff is gonna burn up. I mean, I was in so much pain though, I didn't care. I thought, let them come. They want the fire so badly, they can get it. I was curious about the gasoline zombie though. I wondered if he was gonna blow up when he touched the fire. There was a bunch of them. Chain reaction? Don't mind if I do. And I was having so much fun watching these guys blow up without me doing anything. I didn't even notice how much my right leg was aching. I mean, it was already hurting, so I figured it was just that, but it was getting really hot here. Lashin started to panic. He was going on about his hands or something. Anyway, we had to get away. It was way too hot. And so enough time had passed that we managed to get into the last one. This one was like a little mini IKEA. There was like bathtubs and couches, bookcases, laundry machines. Maybe if we disassembled this stuff, we could get some valuable material. But you know what? I wasn't really in the mood for that. And so we decided to head out of here. I was in a lot of pain. I wasn't quite ready to go home though. Looking around the map, I'm sure there was a lot of other things that we can get to nearby. And that's what we decided to do. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed hearing Heero's thoughts directly instead of third-person narration. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As for his adventure, well, you're going to have to wait for the next episode. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you're all still having fun. I certainly am. And we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night.